That conversation is why virtual session. Yes. Just be glad.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to our town council meeting. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Reverend, please rise for that. Flags in the back. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is approving the minutes from the previous meeting. Everyone has a chance to look at those. Any questions, concerns?
I didn't find anything. I'd make a motion to approve. Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, next up, approving the claims and signing the bills.
Same with claims, I didn't see anything. Do that, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, planning and zoning, Mark, I see you had something.
Yeah, it's one picture of the place. This is 164 Carl Street. Neighbor actually sent me this picture, wanting to know if it's in the letter. It's been sent there, unlicensed, plus all the growth around it. So they want to know if we can send a letter to them about getting that out of there and getting that cleaned up.
We sent them letter on something else, didn't we, not too long ago?
Probably.
That could be it.
Probably. 164 Carl. It's actually, if anybody remembers, where it's right next to Alicia's dad, who used to work here. You remember Chris?
I don't remember that. You're asking, I can't swear to it. Send a long letter.
Motion to send a letter. There hasn't been one about this. There might have sent one about their yard before.
Oh, okay, but this specific.
Yeah.
Did you make a motion?
Harlan, yeah, motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay, and then I also got an email about 440 Chestnut Street. They put a couch out on the sidewalk, and of course, Sweetland's not going to pick it up, but unless they pay for it, it's been sitting there for weeks. So they want to know if we could send a letter. This was a neighbor across the street, same neighbor about two properties, but this was one of them. They went up, we could send a letter, telling them they need to get that.
And my understanding was that they would pick up one thing a month, large item once a month, but you had to call.
I don't know about that.
You gotta schedule it, yeah.
And they have to be paying the water bill, paying the thing too.
You know, Madam President,
Do what now?
do you know?
Do I know what?
Have you touched base with them? I have not. So try calling them first.
Just advise them, yeah, if they call Sweetland, they can work out the.
Yeah, because they are supposed to be able to pick up at least one item.
So that'll probably be the answer on their second one they sent them out, which is right across the street, 515 Chestnut, which has done the same thing, shoved the couch.
We have found where people have just dropped stuff off randomly at somebody else's property and took off and left it.
Well, this one, the neighbor said that she saw them shove it out there. But 515 is also a car that's been parked there, they said, for months. The driver's side window's busted out, it's covered in plastic, and it hasn't been moved in months.
Do you know if it's got current license on it or not?
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, check it
Have you
out.
checked that?
We don't believe we, I think that's removed.
Is it a red truck? Is it-
No, it's a car. It's a car. It's a, I can't remember what kind of car it is now. I've seen it. It's like a sandy color sedan.
So reach out and go through them on the couches and see if they can schedule Sweetland and follow up on the items.
If they had moved at the next meeting, bring it up again.
Right, yeah, if they haven't worked something out, I mean.
And then the other one, we got complaints about,
It's the same, I mean, I'm just not saying that. They only come once a month on Friday, to me anyway. So they only have one, you have to schedule it in advance, so.
is it like the first
It's first, I think it's the first Friday, might be the second Friday.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's second Friday.
Second Friday, first, okay.
And then, so, it's just that one day a month, they'll come by and schedule, they'll pick up one item.
Okay,
Well, they'll pick up more than one item, but they only pick up one item for free, and then they charge the rest.
Yeah, I got charged $30.
Before.
Yeah, that is reasonable for what they do.
and the other one will probably be the same, which is we got a complaint about another rooster on Capitol Boulevard. Of course, Wes is well aware of the, what's it called, the annoyance animal ordinance. So apparently it's crowing at all hours. So we just try.
Girls, that kind of sound.
So then they try to get them to remove it, and then they have it, bring it up at the next meeting also. Okay, so that takes care of all of those. And then the fire marshal was in here inspecting the elevator. And we had to call Tone Elevator to come back. They have some oil pads up there. And the guy who came and picked it up, he said that there was a leak in the unit that runs the elevator. And that oil got underneath the tiles. And some of those tiles have come up. They said he left the oil pads because that oil seeping back out from those tiles. So he suggested that we take all the tiles up in that room, and then it can be cleaned up. It wouldn't be a problem. So question is, who do we want to take those tiles up? Is that something that we ask Kenny to do, or what? It's not a big room. In the elevator room upstairs. Yes. Just, they need to be,
And they're loaded. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be a.
yeah, there's like 7 tiles that are already gone where the oil loosened them and they came loose, but there's still oil underneath the tiles that are there that seeps out.
So let's talk to Kim and see if that's something we can take care of, and we can contract out.
Yeah, but if we can, Kenny can take a look and do it, knock it out, that'd be great.
You want me to talk to Kenny or one of you all?
If you don't mind,
Just ask to see if she knows what's going on with it.
And then, we have a leak.
Yeah.
The plumber was supposed to be here Monday, he didn't come, so I called someone else. They're supposed to be here first thing in the morning to figure out what's causing it. So, but y'all know about that. Plus, the fire marshal said that by law, we have to have the cab lights for the elevator, the breaker, that shuts those off labeled. And it is not. We looked in every box in the building we could find, didn't find anything. So I called an electrician. He's supposed to come Friday and try and find where that is so it can be labeled and we can put it in the elevator room. Because he said by law, it has to be in the elevator room saying where that is. Kone. But they've got the main shut off. It's just the elevator off. This is the cab lights, which is just on a regular breaker. And that's what's not labeled. And he said, they came in and they said they didn't, he said, you just not know where it's at. So, and the other thing about that was, there appeared to be not many items labeled in the breaker box upstairs that I looked at. In my personal opinion, in your house, you want to know what every breaker goes to. Do we want to have the electrician try to trace all of those and get everything labeled? Or just one item and keep it as it is?
Medical test, if you're gonna do that, we need to get estimate on how that works on the,
yeah, if it's
it's all
all,
fine circuits, it's not a simple task.
Right, they gotta have all that.
Automated equipment, so. that would
Right.
be-
I think it's important to have.
So I'll get a quote for that and then. And the crosswalk sign got mowed over on Chestnut Street. One's in the middle of the street. So I found a number and called NDOT and we've got a ticket in. They're supposed to send me an email and let me know. Matt, did you want to pick that sign up? It's not, so Kenny might have a sign. I told him whenever they contacted me, I would try to figure out where the sign was. You may know who's got it.
Hope somebody will take it with them.
The car, I mean, it was just gone. I think, Sam, you saw that, but
There was a couple of, there was some black marks on it, but it was still standing up, so I'm like, okay, somebody's tearing it up. But then the next thing we know, it's completely gone.
It was on Saturday night,
was it?
yes.
Okay, well, NDOT's supposed, we've got a ticket open for NDOT to take care of that, put another one in, so, I'll let y'all know what's going on with that, and I got these. And I don't know if there's anything to do with this. I sent this from, it's about the, trail. I guess the work they're gonna do over there. With the approval. So, it's a couple of y'all. So, or keep that space. Yeah,
All right, thank you, Mark. Next up on the agenda, Nick Broom. Leadership Person County, come on down.
Nathan Broom, Executive Director of Leadership Harrison County, and you've got a request for some traffic control on Derby Day, May 2nd of 2026. This will be our 8th annual Lead the Way walk and run, and we're proposing to change up the event this year. We've always done it on Indian Creek Trail, largely so we didn't need to come before you and interrupt traffic at all. But this year we decided we really wanted to grow it into a bigger event that serves more people in the community. So to that end, we have rented the fairgrounds. We're going to have races for kids on the horse track. We're also going to have an elite mile with some prize money on the horse track, leaning into the Derby theme. And then we shortened it from a 5 mile to a 5K. And we're proposing the route you see before you for the community 5K. So this will be open to everyone. We encourage people to come, bring strollers, bring your kids, walk it, run it, race it, whatever gets you out and moving and enjoying our trail, our community, what brings people into Cardin. So that's our goal. That's what we're hoping to do. And we talked through a number of routes, and we found this one that works really well, starting and finishing at the fairgrounds, including Indian Creek Trail, which we think is worth showcasing, as well as the First State Capitol and downtown, finishing back at the fairgrounds. So if it's something, it would need your approval, of course, because it would use some public roads. We, of course, already have paid for reserve for fairgrounds. We would need permission from the Parks Department to use the trail. They've always given us that in the past. We've actually already applied for that, and they said they would wait until you had a chance to review it before they followed up on it as well. So just to, we can walk through the schedule that I've shown you on the back. There's only one place that we're actually proposing a road closure, and that is Bill Gary Hill, basically from the new four-way stop sign at Dollar General Market up to Thomas Street for about 10 minutes. So we've done, you can see the start time and end time. Those are calculated based off someone running a 5 minute per mile pace for the 5K and someone walking about a 25 minute per mile pace for the 5K. So that kind of gives us our range of how long runners and walkers would be in that section. So it comes out to about 8 minutes there, and it's that second row. That's the one place we'd be asking for full closure just for the safety of runners and walkers going up Bill Gary Hill for about 10 minutes. Everything else you can see, we've identified these, I believe it's 7 locations where we would need to do some sort of traffic control. And you've had a chance to look through them. We can walk through them if you'd like, or you can just ask me specific questions. Primarily, we're just in, so the ones that might be most concerned to you, I would think, would be coming down Highway 62 and Walnut Street, in which case we're proposing to use the sidewalk on the bridge and then to use cones to close the parking lane. And here at the stoplight with North Capitol, we would propose to close the right-hand and straight lane. So traffic would still be able to use what's now the left-hand turn lane, but that left-hand turn lane would need to serve all 3 directions. That location in particular would be closed for approximately 51 minutes from 9:26 a.m. to 10:17 a.m. And so we would close that one turn lane, but traffic can still flow freely. And then heading south on Capitol, we would propose to close the parking on the right-hand side of the road, this is the southbound side of the road. We would request for the only necessary police presence we would request would be at the stoplight of Chestnut Street to allow runners and walkers to flow freely, but still to direct traffic through that section. That location, we're proposing about 56 minutes of traffic control from roughly 9:30 to 10:30 that Saturday morning, May 2nd. And then a flagger on the South Bridge, as you know, with the wands that direct traffic kind of wide on the South Bridge. There is still room for people to run and walk in the median there, but it gets a little narrow. So we just have a flagger there to make sure the traffic was aware that there were runners and walkers and moved safely and slowly over that bridge. And then by 10:25 a.m., we expect to have everything cleared out and reopen. 9:15 would be great start time. So that's our proposal. Love to hear questions from you. See if this seems like something that's realistic to you. Our Vice President, Rachel Kitterman, is here. She's reviewed this as well. We've crafted it as a board. She's also spoken to Chief Kitterman, and he's here and can answer questions about requests.
Matt, do you have any issues with this? I'm sure you talked about it.
Yeah, no, I think this would be fun. So Saturday morning, should be the traffic. Yeah.
We need to put somebody out there on camera when 62 men, they start making that call.
We could, I mean, I don't have volunteers, that we're gonna be out there, but we can try and see and do somebody out there as well.
If you start at the top of the Billberry Hill, is that a 4K?
We can mark
That hill is gonna be.
We put it
At least 10 minutes to get up that hill. Really?
But you know, you feel good. You gain the hill, everything else is down. You're right. That's a big climb.
At least it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. It's not a personal record kind of course, I'm afraid. The fairground, the horse track will be flat paths.
So at the very beginning, the start to Dollar General Market, that little section on, how are you handling that?
The proposal there was to close the southbound lanes with cones. So, you know, in fact, I misspoke. So, but that is about a 5-minute segment where southbound traffic we'd only be exiting there's that exit from the fairgrounds. It's almost to the Dollar General Market. So 5 minutes is generous there. It's, you know, your slowest walker from the time we fire the starting pistol will be, I think, just a few minutes to the stop sign. But you're right, there would be a brief closure in the southbound lanes only for about 100 meters there from the fairgrounds horse track exit to the stop sign. And after that, they can flow freely and divert.
Well, I know once you get started, it starts to spread out and narrow,
Right.
people wise.
Right, but yeah, just southbound lanes only for a few minutes there.
I'd make a motion to approve this, planning forward on it.
Is there a second? Any other questions, concerns?
Second that,
Yeah.
chief needs to be involved and make sure things.
Well, all in favor of, aye, opposed?
Thanks for coming. Come and join us on birthday.
Start at the top of the hill, do you?
I was gonna say, you want to start a great meeting?
Thank you.
Next, Joe Shireman.
I want to thank you all for allowing David and I come down there and have an opportunity to talk to you about the possibility of joining Ramsey Water for the fire suppression system at the REMC. And tonight I brought with me some diagrams here of what we would be proposing, and to try to help answer any additional questions maybe that you have. I know I've been verbally talking to you about it, but I thought maybe this might be of some help to you.
Thank you, Joe.
Hello, Hope. I hadn't seen you the last time.
So if you would look at this handout here, okay, this is indicating, the present REMC building here on this side. And this red line is the proposed, new fire line that comes into the warehouse area for the fire sprinkler riser. And it comes from, up near their front driveway. And what was originally proposed was an extension of the town's line over here, a larger line. And I think it was originating someplace here in the trailer park. And it came over to a hydrant area. And from that hydrant area into the building, I'm under contract to install the smart lock. And and I don't want to be too redundant here, but you know, in this process, we were taking flow tests on the town's water, and we were having issues with what they call the residual pressures out there. And we were getting readings of about 7 pounds, where we think we were needing maybe 65 or something out there. So we were having difficulty there with that. The engineers had designed a fire sprinkler pump and to incorporate into the work here in the warehouse. And with further discussion on it or whatever, we felt like it was marginally safe for the pump to provide the fire suppression pressures that we needed in the building. If there was an opportunity to omit the pump, it would be a grand thing for everybody. And so we were trying to pursue that avenue. And you've seen me down here a few times, and that's the reason I've been down here to talk to you about the possibility of tying into Ramsey. And we've met with Ramsey's board, and Ramsey said, well, you know, the first step was you have to get permission from the town to do that. And you all were gracious enough to say that, you know, Joe, go ahead and pursue that and let us know how those talks are going. And that's what I'm kind of back here reporting on. So I can tell you that in visiting with Ramsey, what Ramsey is proposing, then if you look at this diagram, the line here on the side would be Ramsey's 10-inch main that's on the opposite side of Forestry Road from the REMC. And they're saying that we could tap into the 10-inch line. They would be a valve, they would be a 4-inch meter and a meter pit, a 4-inch control valve, backflow preventer, and then additional valve here at the town port connection. And then they're proposing that, or they're saying they're in agreement if Corden allows what they refer to as an interconnection between Ramsey's water and Corden's service line here. Corden has a existing 4-inch service line here on the REMC's property that feeds 2 hydrants in the domestic domestic service. We feel like this is an advantage to County Corden to have this interconnection, because it will boost the pressures that's on this line that's out there currently. I don't have figures of cost. Ramsey's working on that for me, and they have alluded that they can possibly have those costs for me Monday night to review with their board at their board meeting this coming Monday night. and David has to, if they have that information as well, take back to his board. But I'm here to kind of explain to you as best I can about what's being proposed and to take any questions that you would have about the process. And I'm hoping that I've explained that well enough this evening.
So from the last visits here, my understanding is that if we tap into Ramsey, that the water is flowing at all times because a sprinkler system cannot not have that demand. It's not something you can go out and turn a switch on when you need it. It has to be on and running at all times. So the question that I think we posed the last time we were here.
Well, I wouldn't say it doesn't call it running all the time. Say it's immediately available. It's not valid. It's there.
Right.
Right, but
They're under pressure once it's called for inside the building. It's active.
right, but if whoever, the next door neighbor to REMC is running, they're sprinkling their yard, it's drawing water, and Ramsey would be dumping water into our lines.
What Ramsey is proposing is what they call a control valve. You'll see that in this pit. And it's my understanding of what the control valve does, it's set at a pressure that Ramsey agrees with the town of Corydon what that pressure is. And if there's a demand on Corydon's line in excess of what the present demand is, for example, if there was a call for the sprinkler to come on, or if there was a break in Corydon's line that the pressure dropped, then the control valve would allow Ramsey's water to come back in and feed Corydon's line. So if there's no water break, there's no sprinkler being used, then there wouldn't be any water. In my understanding, wouldn't be any water flowing from Ramsey to the line.
So I see the note on here that the 4-inch control valve, which I believe is what you're speaking of, would be set at 10 PSI below Corydon's water. And you said our water was 7?
I said the residual that was measured, I said there was a flow that came out of the line under the flow, it was like 7 pound or something. Now your static, I think, is maybe 80 or something like that out there. Okay. Now Ramsey's is more like 100 or 110 or something. So it's more than adequate to take care of what our fire is.
So the last time you was here, that you said there would be a fee on a monthly basis for the meter, and you said it was in the hundreds, but you had to get numbers, which you're gonna work on next week.
I'd love to have told you tonight what they are. I've been trying to get them.
We look forward to you back.
Yeah. And, but as I told you before, Ramsey, due to some litigation that they have, they can't make REMC a customer, but they can town court.
Understand.
And, okay.
Yeah. So what I would like to know, and then I'm just gonna throw mine out and y'all can jump in.
Yeah.
What I would like to know is what that cost is for the monthly meter,
Yes.
because that's a fee just to have it set and sit there. Even if it does nothing, that's a cost. And then I'd like to understand what the cost the town's gonna incur from, let's just use the word, the trickle effect of water coming through that line every day. Because there will be something coming through that line in which we will be charged for based on the last time you was here. So we have the meter cost of sitting there, and then we have the, let's call it a trickle, that whatever would be consumed in the system, regardless if there's a fire or not, because there will be something trickling through there. I'd like to understand what that kind of a cost, how we can estimate what that is going to.
Yeah, I understand.
Burden that's working on the town.
I understand your question.
That's as many as I'd like to know.
The rents, anything that's flat rate period, no water usage, then flat rate fee.
All they've been able to tell me is that we're working on it, we're working through our accountants on it. We feel like we're gonna have that information at our October meeting, which is next Monday night, just to be able to share it with And that's about as far as I can take it tonight.
So Joe, we understand it. We can't just let them hook into their line, run it directly to them, to a meter, and that's it. They want all this along with it to make it feasible for them.
That's what they're going to require if they're going to provide service, and they're going to require they're going to require that they're connected into your service line, your 4A service line.
That's one thing kind of bothers me. I don't know.
Right, well, it sounds like, I mean, I think we really need to get those answers set,
Yeah.
get those cost answers, and then we can really kind of be confident what the arrangement's gonna be going forward, and we can decide from there.
We might have to concur with this gentleman sitting down here,
That's quite possible.
Midwestern Engineering.
I would highly recommend.
I bet you would.
I got one other question, Joe. I know just put a backflow preventer here, and that's in the pit. It's gonna be done, and that's prior to connecting the town garden's water line.
Yes, sir.
And then what keeps the backflow prevention from the town line?
The backflow prevention from the town's line.
That, yeah, we're taking that.
Well, my understanding is the backflow here is to prevent any backflow from Gordon's line into Ramsey's.
Going back into the Ramsey water tap.
Now, the fire sprinkler visor in the REMC will have its own backflow preventer.
What I'm thinking is in the garden line.
Who's gonna be responsible for the yearly inspection of the backflow preventer in the pit? Would that be us?
Who owns the pit?
I think this would be owned by Ramsey until it actually hit our line.
Well, that would be, Heather, that would be my understanding that, they take it, their part of their charge or whatever to you, is up to the point of this valve, this connection valve to your line.
That's what I would expect. But
Yeah.
we can't clarify also.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we'll see you on November 4th.
Yeah. I think one of the everything we
Well,
can to get
you
water.
can, but, you all can appreciate what we're trying to do here. Yeah, yes, and we just want to visit with you to understand what your questions are, so we're better prepared when you come back.
We really want to get a line over there to them so they can have their charge suppression, same thing we can do to get it over. Probably won't have to do it, but the cost would be nice to know what the cost was going to be before we do it. I know you're trying.
I'm trying, Lester, I'm trying.
You did an excellent job.
Thank you all for your patience with us, and we'll be back.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right, next up on the agenda, the budget for 2026. Son of a-
Yes, this is for the adoption, so I know you approved it at the last meeting. This is the actual adoption of this year's budget.
Do you have information on what the adopted rate was last year? Past?
And totally always like 5%. I can figure 5% across the board.
I mean, it's got adopted tax rate 0.785 what it was last year. I'm trying to see how much one of that.
That I do not have on me. This, Janet Alexander, that does our budget, she goes by the revenue that we're getting, and the revenue was cut a lot that we was going to be receiving, so this is why some of the stuff got cut quite a bit.
Any questions for anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to vote on the proposed budget.
Motion to approve.
One question, what is the raise proposed?
Now, on here, it's just figured in as 3%, but it's not set in stone. You will do that at the salary ordinance and all of that. So
Okay, but it's,
she's just got 3% on here, but that's
we can
whatever
adjust.
you all want
whatever.
to do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Second motion, Carolyn, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Heather, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Great. Thank you. All right, next up, Ed Peters, Midwest Engineers, been working on some projects for us. He's got some updates.
Thanks for having me, guys. I know I haven't been to a lot of meetings. Traditionally, town manager kind of reports on your capital projects, but I've been doing your water engineering for about 5 years, less work personally with. So I'm very involved in all the capital projects that are going on your utility systems. Currently, we have kind of 3 big ones that I have pay requests for tonight, and then a couple of decisions to be made as well. The first one, I'll probably just start with probably just go with the easiest one first, I guess, and the best news, I guess, too. Throughout the last 5 years or so, you guys have been putting we call CIPP, cured in place liners in the clay sewers throughout downtown and other areas as well. This year's project was a little smaller than previous years, but Temple and Temple, more local contractor, did that for you guys this year. They basically held their pay request until they were finished with the project. It only took them about 6 weeks, and they've got a request in. So their first and final request is for $156,018, and that is lower than the contract amount. We removed a couple of lines that didn't need to be lined in that project. So the original contract amount was for $175,100. So with this project, I'd like to request that you guys approve the pay request that we recommend for $156,018. And then there's also a change order to decrease the contract amount. So project came in under budget, and that amount is $19,082. So, but yeah, that's a good project. I really hope you guys get bids from Temple and Temple again. Overall, they were great to work with, great local contractors.
So under where you're on that, all that was all pre-approved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So we vote on that, except for pay it. Then
Is that a motion, Heather?
I'll make the motion to pay that.
I'll
pay
second.
voucher.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded?
Second one here, we have the ongoing wastewater treatment plant project. We've been calling it the Oxditch or oxidation ditch project. You're replacing 3 of called the aeration shafts. There's a shaft with a motor, a gear reducer. It kind of puts more or less puts oxygen in the water, helps the treatment process in the Oxditch. It looks like a couple of big rings. I don't know if everybody's been up there and looked at it, but so we're taking the shafts off, and this was kind of foreseen a little bit, but not to the extent we found when they took the shafts off. Most of these discs, which are like a fiberglass material, are broken where they collar on the shafts at. So they're not really reusable. Definitely would not advise, putting these broken shafts. If you go down to the treatment plant, there's a pile of them against the concrete wall that you can you can step on and the cracks show, that kind of thing. But I have a pay request for that project, but the bigger decision there is that we'd like to replace those discs on the new shafts. So you're investing a huge amount of money, $300,000 or so to get these 3 shafts up and going. New motors, new shafts, new bearings, and they're kind of useless unless you put these fiberglass discs back on. So we bid out a price of about $1,700 per disc with the budget. Didn't know how many were going to be broken, so we didn't have a quantity in there. We just had a kind of a placeholder price for it, around $1,700. The contractor kind of went back to the manufacturer and got a reduced price of I think it was $1,400 per disc set. That So they went back and renegotiated because of how many there are. There's 60 of these discs that need to be replaced, so 20 per shaft, and their price is $1,450 per disc now. So with this request, we'd like to increase the contract amount on that project by $87,000. So the original contract price was $293,925, and we'd like to increase that to $380,925. So that's within your guys' ability with your sewer bond. I definitely recommend that be done. So
I think we're gonna have to look at that one, because the next one that you've got going, there's extras, so we're gonna have to, me and Gina's gonna have to get together on the bonds to see, because they've already got a bunch spent out and some on hold for other projects, so we're gonna have to look at the total left us on bonds, because they've been going like wildfire on a lot of projects. We'll be able to work on it tomorrow, and then I'll give Jill another call too, and to make sure we coincide, that she agrees with what we're doing, and on the pricing, so that we'll have it for you within this week.
okay. Yeah, time is of the essence on this one. They have to order the discs
Could
and
we go ahead and vote again, if it does work out that way?
Yeah, I would think so, I mean, that, you would, I would ask Chris. I
I'd
mean,
be okay with it, Chris.
Contingent on.
I'll make a motion that we do it that way.
So, yeah, it sounds like we really don't have a,
there's not really a choice.
it just kind of has to be
Yeah,
done.
if we can't find it within the bonds, I highly recommend looking at
We've got.
just your normal operating budget,
Sure.
whatever it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got avenues we can use.
So.
Have you got
Okay.
engineers paid, say?
We didn't get paid that
I'll second, let's, did you second on the
Okay, yeah. All in favor? Aye.
much. Okay.
Opposed?
In the pay request for that month, they took all the shafts out, and we called it the demolition of the project. They're requesting this month $108,576.45
For what they've done so far.
for what they've done so far, and we recommend that you pay them. They've done the work, so.
You good, Madam Treasurer?
Yes, that's already been. the
Right,
job.
we voted for that, so
Okay.
it's right, it's about pay, so. Yeah.
Yeah, $108,576.45. So.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, third project's on the water side of things. Paul's very familiar with the project. It's going by his house, but the Dale Avenue water main replacement. We're also replacing a section of 10-inch water on Willier Avenue as well, to the north of that. But CNR Construction, another great local contractor for you guys, is working on that. They've requested their first pay application this month in the amount of $78,432, and we recommend going ahead and paying them for that. They've done probably more work than that, even with all the work that they've done boring so far and laying water main. They've kind of knocked that out pretty quick on Dale Avenue there, so we'd recommend that as well.
Good, Madam Treasurer.
Yeah, you all already approved that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Les, Heather, or, oh, sorry. All in favor?
Who is it?
Aye.
Opposed? What's that?
Who did the vote, who did it, voted who?
Hoping less.
Sorry.
Okay.
They call themselves-
The last thing there on that project too, there's a request for additional use here. I don't have a firm number, but we bid out a certain footage of pipe on that project. After consulting with Donald and some of your operators, there's a intent to eliminate another main in an alleyway. It goes from the dentist office to Dale Avenue, essentially. There's a narrow alley there where there's some growth trees, that kind of thing, that you have a water line in. I believe it was a cast iron main, probably from the 70s. The whole purpose of this Dale project was to remove the alleyway water main between Dale and Church. And while they're there, while CNR's there, your operators and I have looked at removing the main between the alleyway between Church and I guess that would be Monroe, while we're doing this work. To do that, it requires another couple 100 foot of pipe and another 3 water meter relocations. Total cost that we're probably looking at is in the neighborhood of 35 to 40,000. We don't necessarily have to have a change order, but definitely some comfortability with your guys' budget. You know, if we can overrun the quantities to that extent. We have bid estimate, you know, items for footage of pipe and meter pits and all this kind of stuff. We can add that to the project pretty easily, but again, we're gonna come in over budget on that project or over the bid amount and somewhere in around probably 30 to 40,000, so.
And that's gonna be the same situation as the other one,
Yeah.
because it's going
We'll
in
have to
over.
take that till we think sure we're not
So-
there to do
And
it.
if you want it, you can approve it, but we don't have to contingent on it. But you know,
Yeah, I think the issue is this is kind of a time sensitive one too, the project, the work that's going now. Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, well, I guess the cost savings here is, this is instead of a $30,000 or a $40,000 project, if you asked a contractor to come back 2 years later and remobilize, it's probably, you're gonna be looking at double that to do the work that we're talking about. So,
And that's an old cast iron.
yeah,
It's-
it's the,
It's running it behind house, it's behind the dentist's office there, we're moving it out to the front where they've been laying the others on, basically.
Then the meters will be on the road also.
yeah,
I'd make a motion to do that if we have the cap.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
other than that, don't have a lot of other project updates. We do enjoy working for you guys, appreciate the continued business overall, a lot of years, so. I'll continue to come on a monthly basis as these pay requests come in and give an update. Definitely until you guys backfill a town manager position or something like that. So if you ever have any questions, Mark's got my contact. I know a lot of you guys do too. Questions like this interconnection with Ramsey, you know, that is something that's a pretty big deal, obviously, for you guys and for Ramsey. So we have no problem looking at that kind of stuff either. So.
You'll probably get a call.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And thank you for the input too. Good question.
All right, Heather, you want to talk about the,
Yeah, well, I was,
you put together there?
yeah, I was in old business, so let's take care of one, but don't just put me real quick first. Megan Stockdale, who has been coming the last couple, 3 meetings in regards to closing North Capitol for trick or treating, contacted me this morning, and, the state has denied that closure. We kind of expected that, but they needed a little bit more notice, so I would expect it for next year to get, you know, done earlier, but,
Option B then.
option B, and, you know, putting extra officers out with the lights on and that type of stuff, and then having their volunteers to help with crossing and such, so that will be Matt, the direction we'll be going for trick or treat night, will be me. So I expect she's already applied for next year,
Probably.
based on what I'm hearing, so
I'll get Megan, you know.
appreciate that, thank you.
Good.
Old business still is, we do have the openings for town manager, we also have, maintenance superintendent. We need to start that discussion on postings and such, but I put together, job descriptions for those 2 positions. I passed out to you guys tonight. I figured we needed a starting point because I don't believe we had anything real good from the past. So these are 2 things that need to review and see if we want to make any changes to, or if we want to run with that. I did share them to Sandra on the computer, so if we want to make changes, she would have access to also change it. It's not all hinging on myself. And then the other item that I did share with Sandra, if we want to do some sort of posting, whether it be Facebook or whatnot, I put together just a little eye-catching thing, because currently, right now, we have basically the human resource individual position still open, the town manager, We have a maintenance superintendent, and I believe we have one other maintenance position that's open on the bill. So Sandra also has that if we want to flash that out for Facebook or whatnot, wherever anybody wants to use it. I just was trying to put some things together as talking points for tonight. So the other part of this is I think we need to put together a committee from the board that would be part of the interview process of these positions, especially the town manager and maintenance superintendent, since that's not just your average individual, they'll have more interaction with the board. And I think we should put together a committee that will review those resumes and, you know, provide feedback on once we get that position of reviewing those.
Questions from anyone about these? It looks great. I like the town manager position. Hit pretty much everything we need. I think there. Well, yeah, it looks very good. So.
But other things, we don't have job description.
This is pretty good start on that description.
Yeah, it's a excellent start. I don't know if we want to, how we want to handle posting, if we want to, if Sonia to put out a post looking for these individuals, this would at least give them something that, if they had questions, what was the position, and, you know, what does it entail? Sandra would have something to work off of or to send out, because there's nothing in these that are proprietary or anything like that, it needs to go out anywhere.
And you all wanted this posted on Indeed, right?
Sure.
Because I didn't get any hits in it.
Oh, for the human
For any of it,
resources.
I didn't get any hits.
What other positions have been?
No other positions,
Oh,
I'm sorry, but it's just the papers,
Sure.
different papers, that no hits.
Right.
At all. Someone made a comment that people don't read the paper no more.
True story.
That's sad.
With Indeed, I believe you can, you know, you'll have to make a
Yeah.
account, but if you post more than one, you get a break in fees and costs. So, I mean, technically we'd have 4 if you wanted to post on Indeed, or at least 3 for sure. I don't know if the other maintenance position was post, something you would post or not, no.
If we can get a price break, I will. I'll post it, yeah, so we can get a price break. Do you want this also put on the website?
I think that would be good.
Yes.
You want to put on the website
Maybe
and
Facebook.
Facebook? Maybe,
Website.
Facebook or like the town website or both?
Website.
can we do both?
Sure, probably.
We can do both, because we might get more.
Right.
The website probably won't see much, but if you want to put it out there, the hanging. Just let me know when you've got it done, and email them, so.
Well, we're done, and I'll just forward an email.
Okay, so.
Yeah, if we're good with these, then these should be done and in your inbox as you
Yeah.
We need to vote to put these out there then, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
She made a motion, and I'll second it.
all right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then the second part there was putting a committee together, right? So we could have 2 people working the interviews, right, Chris? That'd be the,
Maybe 3 on
it's gotta be a formal meeting then, so.
You could do, discuss a candidate, you could do it in executive session, but you're not supposed to all that.
Right. But what it did, it's to talk to people and stuff, those interviews, maximum 2 people on the board. Right.
Well, I think volunteer on it.
Okay.
Available out. Able to be in town when that happens, I would be happy to.
I'm sure we can make that work.
I think you all go, Paul.
Okay. That's, we're good then? Okay.
Sure.
Sorry.
Their schedule's kind of similar to mine, so we have to work it out.
Late afternoon meetings or interviews and we'll make it happen. All right. One other, speaking of job postings, Kenny messaged me this week. They would like to hire a 20-hour a week, kind of a part-time person. Do we have budget for that? I don't know, we're.
Getting down to the wire.
Right.
End of the year, so, I mean, is he wanting to hire him this year or early next year? Because as soon as the bathrooms close, Rick Keller is off. He's part-time. As soon as the bathrooms close, then he's done until spring. So that, and the new part-time can take his place as of, now, but then he did get rid of the full-time.
He wants to start immediately because leaf picking,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
plowing and et cetera coming up.
I think he just answered. I was saying, I don't want to speak for Kenny, but he gave me an application to have Matt's guys run a background check, so.
Yeah. Because he had come to me earlier and I said, no, I said you needed to go to you all or you. I had nothing to do with
And
it.
the applicant did pass. I said, I don't know about bring Kenny one time.
Yeah.
Does he have any special?
Yeah, that's the question. How many people did they lose or they had?
Oh, they lost. They only had 3. I mean,
They used to have 3 full-time and
they only had 3, yeah, they had 3 full-time and then they got 2 part-time now.
So I would approve that if the budget.
I would get they should be able to, but they don't start around that.
60, 70 an hour probably.
It should be okay.
somebody's paying
Just
those.
20 hours a week.
I'll make that motion to approve that as long as you can
Yeah,
verify the funding is available.
yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay. Hopefully, Harlan seconded.
All in favor? Aye. So we'll, Sonia, just let me know, and I'll let you know then. We're good.
Take your pick.
Bring it.
I'm looking at it.
Unless you, I have more.
Okay, go right ahead.
Next,
Last meeting, we talked about Main Street and contracts and how we were going to handle that, because we really had nothing in writing. So, last meeting, I shared a contract that I kind of worked up with Chris, put his legal ease into it. So in the meantime of doing that, and Chris and I talking back and forth, we really have nothing that covers 2025. And yes, it's almost over, but we're into the big season, if you will, or high cost season with the light upcoming. So Chris has drawn up a contract for 2025 for Main Street. And that's based on money drawn from the year and money left to draw, if you will, on what we're saying. So roughly, we put an additional $15,000 into the account that has been drawn against. So that would be above and beyond what has already been taken. So that's a contract that Chris has drawn up, for us to sign and then have Main Street agree, which that would leave, $15,000 to cover the events between now and the end of the year. And this would be specific to events. This is not administrative fees. This is buying lights. This is paying for Santa Claus. This is that kind of stuff. So this is not a draw for paying for salaries or buildings or insurance and things like that. This is to truly support the community and buy Christmas lights and whatnot. So that's the contract that Chris has for us all to look at and share. And then he has drawn up one for 2026, so we can have it with the legislature changes. It's not as easy for the town to provide money to support, growth and festivals and such like that with Main Street. So we're putting a document in place that will give us the ability to do that. And that document total for 26 will be $25,000. That the town will provide, and that again is for festival cost, not administrative, not support staff. This is actual cost where you rented a band or you have bought a Christmas light or you had the whatever festival is going on that you need actual things for, in which receipts would be turned in, invoice turned in, and then they would draw against basically the pot until it's dry. So those are 2 things that Chris has drawn up that we do need to review, entertain, and then provide to Main Street to sign off on. And Rachel, I don't know what your position in Main Street is. I think I heard that you joined their board. If that's something that you can take back to whomever powers to be to review.
So is that the total for next year?
The total for next year is $25,000.
Is that on, we get copies of that?
I said gave you ones last week. But, or 2 weeks ago, whatever, for the first one. The second one, Chris and I talked and thought we needed something for 25 since we didn't have anything in writing to cover legalities. So Chris has those drawn up.
25, the one for, this is 26, it's 25,000, no, 25, and I need to, based on what you said, I don't know if I need to do this or not. I have it made out for 60, but that covers everything that's already paid today, which I think you said was about 45,000, so it's about 15,000 left to spend.
Correct, so based on, when I asked you what total draw so far this year, it was like 43,000 and some change. So we took it, when we said we could do 15, and we just rounded it for easy.
It's really, we should have had something for the whole year, that's why this one's.
Right.
So that's why this one's greater, is because there's already been money drawn for administrative fees for the year.
But the content, but basically, they read mostly the same, just the dollar amounts have changed. Like, different years.
So, if you clear, and Chris, I thought that the change was that, well, that we can't fund specific.
You can't make donations, so this is the contract, basically, you're allowing them to, you're giving them money to administer, use this basically economic development.
Right.
So, once they sign this, you really can't, hands are somewhat tied other than the carrot and stick, if I were to kind of spend it as they see appropriate for those activities. And you don't like what you're spending, and you just wouldn't stop funding in the future. But you can't say this is a donation for Blast Overfest.
Right, but that's where, since we're not specifically saying Blast Overfest, light up, whatever.
They're basically getting the money to basically promote economic development, things like that. And that can be festivals or whatever, but they will decide how they use it. You won't be able to.
I mean, money being what it is. It goes in one pocket, they appreciate it, so.
The philosophy is that they're to use it for these festivals and this promotion, and that's when they provide their receipts and invoices. It shouldn't be tied to what you state is what we'd like to support. Because in the document, we need was light up First Fridays, Blast Overfest, Popcorn, and Farmers Market. But not limited to, so there's a little bit. I guess we need a motion to approve this, so they can sign it, we sign it tonight, and then they can give it to sign. Is that how that works?
What's the date?
Okay, so it's a conference, so you.
I'd make that motion.
Our motion to approve that, is there a second? All right. Yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
All right, so everybody use your here to sign at the law.
Yep.
Talking through Dora and the activities with Dora. Larry Schickles and the Parks Department has been kind of overseeing the cups and things like that. So just in talking with him and talking with Chris, we believe we need an MOU between the town and the Parks Department on how to administer the Dora. The Parks Department has volunteered their services to kind of oversee and administer the Dora as far as the cups go, training, instructing different individuals that are part of the Dora, adding or subtracting individuals from the Dora as needed, overseeing signage, if there's needs for additional signage, and there's a lot of people seeing them around town with stickers and stuff to the sidewalks where it says the Dora starts and the Dora ends. Just talking with the Parks Department, the town according overseeing the whole Dora activities, I don't think is feasible, and they have offered to do that. And talking with Chris, I think we need an MOU to allow them to do that on our behalf, in which they will work with us on if we're adding or subtracting, if they're not just doing it on their own. Everything will be presented to us to agree or disagree, but they would be one point of contact? Because I know right now when people are trying to add like fiscal, who do they talk to, where do they go, what do they need to do? Everybody was like, I'm not sure. I think having the Parks Department as the point of contact and the ones that are kind of overseeing it, and then we were talked with and informed of the activities that would work better for us, and easier for us. So, Chris has drawn up an MOU draft.
Here's a part, I just finished it up at 5:30 this afternoon, so you probably have emails, emails asked you to, that's the initial draft, sent to Larry too, I guess it's 4 weeks. They didn't say much. I would talk to this next meeting to see if anybody has any questions or edits, things that should be added or subtracted, because we're just getting that.
Sure.
No, I mean, for sure, that's, players would take it to the Parks Board to discuss, to get their kind of input and approval if they agree to do this. And then if there's any changes or adjustments that we'd like to do, we can obviously do that, but I think we should be putting it on the list to, decide at our next meeting to approve that.
One I noted, and kind of highlighted on the first copy, it said, administer, we may want to define that a little bit more specifically because that can mean a lot of different things. So somebody has some better verbiage that, I can change that. That's just what I threw in there for the first draft.
And along with your email that you sent recently on the document that each.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. The DORA, there's an extra step that gets between myself and Parks Department or whoever on Main Street work on this too. There's a submission to the state to get approval. I followed up with them on that. It's not really a big deal for us, but each individual business that we approve to be part of the DORA has to give us something that we submit that the state also has to approve, which I sent that to, was it that all of you or just, I mean, just that just you, Paul, and I guess it's Larry too. There's this form that each entity, like CARB and what else is on it? This wants to be on that. So they all have to submit this with their basically their liquor license information, and who's responsible and all that, and they'll have to get it back to us, and then I'll submit it to the state. I can't make a state submission. I mean, I can submit it, but then those businesses won't be included, so there's a little extra work that these businesses are gonna have to get to us to be able to get approved by the state side of it, so,
So one thing tonight with that, since you included Larry on it, he did message me and said that.
yeah, Larry had said something to me at the commission meeting last night about trying to get like a meeting with these businesses. I don't really know who the contacts for the business, for each of the businesses are. So I think he has that information, maybe had a meeting.
He doesn't, I do, because.
Okay, you might go ahead and shoot that to me, so I have it. And then that way, we can get them this information. I mean, it doesn't look like it's too complicated, but it's something they have to complete because they have to sign it. So and I'll take care of getting it in. And anytime anyone is added, if anybody like this board wants to just got added, someone else wants to get added, they will have to submit this to us again to get to the state. Technically, they're not on the list. I mean, they might be on our list, but they're not on the state list.
It's not official.
So the Parks Department has offered to handle making sure it's worth and get those documents filled out on our behalf if we choose to do that.
Yeah, that would,
They're downtown,
that would be
so
part of that MOU, so.
The administrative.
Yeah.
It's big, but.
Maybe it's not such a bad word.
Very good, very good.
Okay, so we'll take a look, we'll vote on this, I guess, at the next meeting we go.
Get if you have any suggestions or edits, then we can also get feedback on Parks Department. Maybe they want something on.
Sounds good.
One more.
Yep.
And I think I got my list covered. Mark and I spoke last week, just in general about a little bit of everything out in here. paying my water bill. Anyhow, with the town manager vacancy and expectations, Mark would like to understand what all of the town manager's responsibilities and position we're expecting him to fill in for. And I agree, it's a very broad thing. So just for clarification, and so Mark will have the ability to follow up and be doing the things that we expect him to, is there a way to define that for him?
Fair question.
It's, my thought, I think, was, you know, if it doesn't require, you know, spending it or, certainly, if it requires, you know, any kind of, you know, money decisions, whatever, you know, pass those on, passed on to me does, we can deal with,
Well, basically what he kind of did today too, we got up and filled us in on some details. That was good. Did a good job.
Well, part of the question is when you're dealing with NDOT and CDL licenses. and
Yeah, that's something
that
that you all
information.
definitely need to figure out. Like Bruce got it, like, there are things that somebody needs to be registered for, certified for, things like that.
Oh,
So,
yeah, because that's another thing that needs to be brought up is the ERC.
yeah,
Because they have to go through a certification, and if we don't get somebody that's certified, we don't become eligible for NDOT money. And there's a meeting scheduled for it's either November the 6th or the 9th with NDOT people with the ERC. So somebody needs to be chosen to do the ERC certification course online. I think it's 1 to 2 hours. You gotta pass a test to get certified that yearly, or we lose out on money.
How involved is
He
that?
was the only one, yes.
How involved is that position, do you know?
thing is, I don't think we know.
Do what?
I don't think we know how involved that is.
I got a printout in my office that tells everything what to do, but it's basically just NDOT stuff, you know, the bridge,
I think Jill would be able to help with that too. I think
she can help us to a certain extent, but it's not
We're
something.
supposed to have someone
Well,
else.
I meant she could help whoever was going to.
Correct. I think she could too. She could help whoever's going to do it. Somebody needs to be assigned.
You're gonna need somebody to do that at the meeting on the 6th, and you don't want to get residency money.
Is that something that you would want to do?
I read it first. I learned long ago not to just say yes. I mean, I'll do whatever I can, obviously, but I'd like to read what that is. Make sure it's something that.
I mean, maybe we need 2 people instead of an already on the back.
Can that be something, do you know if that's something that 2 people can be on?
I thought they could, the way it stood, the way it read.
Yeah, well, why don't you take a look at that, we can see about it. Make sure it's covered.
That's one thing, but, you know, just need to be somebody that's gonna be making decisions.
Right.
That's, I don't know.
Regularly available too, so. Yeah, well, let's,
The first item on the list, 2 things that maybe we look at. But I'll read that tomorrow and
Are you getting all the calls, like complaints and all that kind of stuff?
yeah, and 2 bad, yeah. I mean,
the emails are going flowing through.
yeah, it's all the emails come up.
Yeah. Facebook complaints, there was one of those I deal with, but last month.
Yeah, that's,
If you
I'll put things out there with complaints.
that's fine, yeah. And she was happy to answer the question. So, about the protest.
Maybe emails through the website too. And, you know, I just, if I know the answer, I've answered a couple of those. They come in as court cards, they come to Bruce and myself. So you change that to you. And I want you to do that. That's been nothing major so far.
When the email was waiting on from the state to fly back to Jill Sagasser as that came.
I have not seen that. The thing I've got to remind him is a regular, almost like junk. They send out emails, a list of projects and where it's at and everything like that. I'm sitting there from the state.
So that's all you're. Yeah, step right up there.
On a prior meeting, we were informed that Payne's Trumpet State still happened and it's going to have to shut down and get it out there.
Yeah, I can update the council. So they did turn in and removed it. The in-town papers has been done. Unfortunately, the snail buildup was back. So we'll have to talk about that again. I don't know what the level was. I haven't seen pictures or elevations on the snails, but you know, we went searching, we found something, so, or they did. So. The immediate issue there with the big one has been resolved.
Okay, we also had a complete fail on the old plant. Motor was out. Send it off to have it redone. Anybody know anything? Large dollars, I know that. No, Mr. Engineer.
No one on that one.
Okay, how about 6-inch cast iron pipe? Anybody hear anything about that?
Which.
The one that was 8 feet under that was flat.
Oh, wait, over the plant there.
Yeah, did he give us an estimate or anything on that? Or anything, son?
I haven't seen anything. We haven't seen anything.
Okay. We had, the RSC agreement, did we get that? Okay.
We need to, no, we need to see that. Yeah, I did not get the meeting. No.
Okay, well, then I'll take that on the next meeting, which is the third Friday in the month. What we get now, we'll get it. We'll go on to it.
Sounds good.
MSDS sheets, Mark, that might be one for you. We have ours in the hall here, but I'm not sure about the other departments, whether they have that state federal regulation of et cetera, et cetera. Okay, the amendment, what we have out there in the hallway.
Just show it to me.
Thank you. We talk papers.
Well, it's in the budget where we're in, salary, so.
The other thing is, we had, one of our cameras had a wire off of it, we didn't check it, so I'd like to make a motion that, the chief of police, who sees all that under that camera, would, monthly take a test of each one of the camera heads and make sure that they're operational. So that'd be a quick step and look. So anyway, I would make that motion that. Do we have a backup on that? Speaking of which. Nobody knows, Miss Sandra, would you check that for us?
You know, man, we're back up on that, you go back. On the.
So the camera system currently is not really. So we have a, say, 12-hour span of time when something has occurred, and we have to watch the full 12 hours. You have to watch it in the past a long time. So that's why it's hard for us to, basically, I don't, we say, we have to watch 48 hours of time. Now, he is correct, is that, we can also check on the backup.
Let's do that, Sandra.
Okay. Check up on the backups.
High class, Mark, you check on that, 8 foot pipe down there with the Ron Shanty. Another question regarding Ron Shanty. I've heard 3 different things when he's retired. First, he was going to retire at the end of the year. Then I hear he's going to retire in February. Then I heard it was going to be within 6 months. I'd like to know what day he's going to retire. If you know anything, Sandra?
The only thing I know is he's on vacation right now. He's in Florida. His house is up for sale and people are looking at it. Other than that, he's training Ryan Grundy for his replacement or whatever he leaves. Other than that, I know nothing. That's just what I know.
6 months, oh.
That's all my whining for the night.
All right, thank you. Let's open anything.
Matt, did you have anything? The email, was you gonna talk about that or anything?
No, I sent stuff, email,
Okay.
questions.
I didn't know. I printed it just in case. I didn't know. I just have a lot for y'all to sign.
Yes, please, Rich.
2 things. Heather took care of the one at the door. The other thing, just to give you an update on the quiet title too. As you know, I think I reported at the last meeting, that there was a federal tax lien from Gurdon for 941, which is payroll taxes, and we filed the title and sent out notice to everybody. So they filed something on it, which I was kind of surprised because that parcel was so worthless. But anyway, the original lien was for 7,000, the penalty and interest is up to 12,000. So I talked to the U.S. attorney on it about it and said, well, we're not going to pay that. We'll just explain the property that came to that. So, the long story short is, I've not had to deal with the IRS. I wanted to force someone to get somebody who had a little bit more knowledge. So I contacted the person I've known with other matters on that does tax sales for the county. And I actually was talking to them today, and I told them, I said, we got this tax lien. Normally, federal tax liens expire after 10 years, but they can reinstitute them. And this one was filed in 2016. So we're talking about it, and I said, well, this one expires in February. I found that you can file to ask every federal form has IRS has a number, it's 14135. It's an application. This is what the U.S. Attorney sent me. You can ask them to disclaim the interest in the property, basically your rationale, all that for it. And so I was talking to this attorney about that, and he said, well, it's expiring in February. He goes, I've been doing this for 20 years. And all I can say is, he says, knock on wood on this. He said, I've never, in my experience, 20 years, I've never seen the IRS refile up for a lien. He said, if I were you, I would just wait for it to expire, and then it'll probably go away, because he said, if you file this 14135, he says, this will take years to get through the IRS process. So he says, your best bet, and his suggestion was just let it expire and see what happens. So that's my recommendation, is what we do.
I agree.
If they refile it, we're not any worse off than we were, but we don't. He said, if you file this, then you're gonna lose, then this is gonna be tied up.
We need a motion for that.
I don't have any motion. I just wanted to make sure you guys.
It's dying out.
Glad it died.
Yeah. See, that's all.
Yeah, so good work.
That's the only thing.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Kevin? Did you have something you was gonna bring before us this evening, young man?
No, so I just, the email that I sent, regarding the, new building, some service we provide, so if y'all have any questions or concerns on that, but I was, pretty much was, y'all would like.
I like what I saw at this meeting.
Questions here? No one else, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wrong.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Rachel. Rachel.